If you've been following along, you probably know I've spent the last 2 weeks dealing with the family issue. I did get back today. I'm very tired, but I can't sleep. And so I just wanted to shoot a zero effort video here. So I'm going to start out with the grid chargers. I've talked about this previously. This is the grid charger that the LiBCM beta and open beta uses. And we've been discussing switching to this charger here, which is about 3 times faster. And then we've also been discussing this guy here, which is about four plus times faster than the stock one here. So these 3 will probably all be options in the general release. LiBCM already supports them, all 3 of these models. You can see that they're quite hefty. This one, all 3 of these versions are installed in the car permanently. And if we take our scale here, you can see that the power supply that's in there now is about 21 ounces. And the second version is almost 4 pounds, so 64 ounces. I'm not doing math right now. And then this honker here is 5.5 pounds, so very heavy, but it is very fast as well. As I've mentioned before, this can charge the 5 amp hour modules that LiBCM is installed for, the HW5, in I guess 2 hours, probably less than that. I've written the numbers before. So these 3 chargers are all installed in the car. But there is actually an external charger that I've recommended, and it's quite a bit larger, and that is the Lambda Gen series. This is a 3.3 kilowatt charger that will eventually work with LiBCM. It already can work, but it's not safe yet. But eventually it will be able to be safely controlled. You'll have to plug in a cable. I haven't done any of that work yet. This is how I'm going to eventually be charging my larger pack in my car. Again, if I'm pausing here or whatever, this is a zero effort video. I'm very tired. I just drove for like 15 hours in a U-Haul. So anyway, this is an 11 amp hour per hour charger. So this can charge the EHW5 modules in, like, I don't know, 20 minutes or something. Again, I've written the number down before. You wouldn't use this, of course, unless you were using a much larger battery. This is 240 volts only. The 3 that I showed before work, 120 or 240. There is another slightly larger supply that I don't have that is supported, but it's only 240 volts. And I believe it's around 4 amps, so it would be doing 4 amp hours per hour of charge. But again, it only works on 240 volts. It should work with LiBCM. I don't have one, so I haven't tested it. So that's just kind of the start of the video. I wanted to just show those power supplies. The only reason I offer the 3 versions is cost. That cheapest supply is quite a bit cheaper. Alright, so moving on. One of the packages I received is 2 packages of these larger cells. I don't remember anything about them, so we'll open them up together. I don't even know who makes these, so it's been a long 2 weeks. But I am going to put this in one of my cars and start working on LiBCM support for it. I know that Mario and Balto are working with a different battery. So we'll see what happens. Again, I don't remember anything about this battery. So hopefully we can figure it out together. Battery hookup has these. They have quite a few. I spoke with whomever it is that runs the show there. I don't remember again. My brain is completely fried. But let's see what we can find. This is a 12S1P. I did remember that. It's 2 kilowatt hours per cell. I think this is somewhere around 40 amp hours. Let me grab a T89, but I need to find one real quick. Here we go. Okay. So, if this is 2.07 kilowatt hours, and it's 12 modules, and It's 3.7 volts. So yeah, it seems like it's a 46, maybe a 47 amp hour module. That is quite a bit larger, so 9 times larger than the EHW5 modules. So let's go ahead and pull one out of here. These don't appear to be, so technically the shipping requirements do require it to be in 2 cardboard boxes. This is a double-walled cardboard box, which does not meet the requirement. It has a small cardboard spacer here, and then it has the separate insulator, which is required to make sure they can't contact. But technically there should be a second cardboard box. I'm not going to raise any fuss over that. So let's pull one of these out, and I got 4 of them. And after I ordered 5, I realized I should have. After I ordered 4, I realized I should have purchased 5 for the 60S configuration. But considering 48S is the only configuration supported right now, I don't think it matters that much. Okay, so let's pull this out. I can already tell that this module is very well built. Just feeling it. It seems very nice. I'm just going to cut this out here. Okay, we're gonna rediscover this module live on film. Again, I'm only doing this right now because I can't sleep. Therapy. Okay. So, as far as I can tell, this appears to just be a solid module, and that's going to be one of the main reasons the energy density is so much higher. I'm noticing this right here. There's some little wire safety sensor maybe. We'll see. It could just be a loose piece of wire. Let's see what happens when we pull that off. I think that was just a loose piece of wire. Okay, that tape is probably added as well. I think that's added to prevent shorts. That seems like just a standard packing tape. Time will tell. And we've got one more tape side. So this appears like this will fit in the OEM bay pretty easily. Yeah, this definitely seems like shipping applied tape, probably by battery hookup. I'll pay more attention on the next one. You probably know the answer because you watched it on video. Okay, so I think the first thing I want to do is I want to compare this in size to the lithium titanate modules. So let me grab one real quick. I haven't used this in a long time. It's a bit dusty. Okay, so it needs to move. Just close it. Okay, this is our new Samsung Ford Motor Company. I was way off. Yeah, this is the Ford Motor Company one. I thought I ordered the Samsung one. I don't know. I'll have to look. But let's compare it to some other known modules here. So that's the new one. This is a LTO that people have already running in their cars. I think that you need 3 of these in the LTO builds for the Insight. So certainly, if you can fit 3 of these, I feel like you can fit 4 of those. It's quite a bit smaller. And the main issue you run into putting these into the Insight is that because of their squareness versus their long thinness of this one, you end up having to like beat the interior aluminum panels in slightly to make these fit. And I think that's a much better candidate. And then the last reference here will be a 12S EHW5 module. So this is what LiBCM was originally designed for, and of course is still originally designed for and still works with and everything. This is just a different version of it. So I'm going to get rid of the LTO again. This is just an initial size comparison. If we wanted to look at volume real quickly, again, I'm going to look at the LTO real quick. This is about 125 by 275 by maybe 245 or so, times 3 divided by 1,000,000. So our relative number there is 25.2 E3. I don't actually know what the unit is, don't care. Because we're going to just find a ratio here. This guy is 360 by, again, if you find these videos boring, you can flip away whatever you want, by, let's say 110. So this one was 360 by 150 by 110. You need 4 of them. And if we divide that by 1,000,000, it's actually slightly smaller. So 23 units, whatever the volume unit is, it's 23.76 million versus 25.2. So it's basically the same. The volume of 3 of these is the same as the volume of 4 of those. So since you can get 3 of these to fit, you almost certainly can get 4 of these to fit. And probably the best way would be to turn these up like this inside of the IMA bay. That would be my guess, and you could fabricate a tray or whatever. I will be doing that eventually. It's not a top priority. Let's look at weight on this Ford Motor Company module. I really thought I got Samsung ones. I don't know, maybe that's what Balto got. Okay, here's our scale again. Okay, I think this might be heavier than this scale can weigh. Which, you know, we'll see. Nope. This is 26 pounds, 3 ounces. 3/6. I really should just have that in metric. Plus 26 times 4. So a 48S would be 105 pounds of lithium batteries, which is really not that bad. And that would yield 8 kilowatt hours of power. That's pretty crazy. It'd be 2.07 times 4. It'd be 8.3 kilowatt hours of power. Compared to this guy, which is like 0.7. Anyway, I've done the math on that. You can see that the difference in energy storage is staggering, particularly when you consider that, let me tear that out again, this module here weighs almost 10 pounds. So 2.5 times more weight gives you 9 times more energy storage. So that's pretty impressive. Again, you know, the luxury here is that this fits in the OEM battery enclosure. This one's going to require a fabricated bracket. This is more for the hobbyist. This is not a product that will be offered for sale probably, whereas this is, of course, that was the main goal with LiBCM. So we'll get that out of the way and take a peek in here. Again, if at any point you get bored, feel free to stop watching because I have not planned anything for this video. So looking at the bottom here, you can see that there is no air clearance for cooling. That's probably one of the things that's making the EHW5 modules take up a lot of volume. You know, they have this external cage here that adds a lot of volume, and then they have an actual air gap because in the OEM configuration they have the ability to blow air through with just an air cooling method. This does not have that. Of course, since this is a 5 amp hour cell and this is a 46 amp hour cell or whatever, this is only going to be pulling it up to 3C, you know, 140 amps or whatever, whereas this is pulling up to like 28C. So this module is going to get a lot hotter. assuming the ESR is the same. So again, I'll pull this out. Yeah, seems like these might be glued together somehow. I'm sure that bus bars are tab welded, and there's very little protection here from the cells, particularly on the bottom. So you do need to manufacture a bracket. You certainly wouldn't want to set this on the irregular surface of the OEM IMA bay enclosure. That could damage these cells and cause a thermal event, otherwise known as a fire. So there are some mounting holes here that look about 8 millimeters. I don't have my pen gauges out, but let's see. Yeah, that's maybe 9 millimeters. So you could put like an M8 bolt through there. That's probably what they do. And so you could have a bracket with some holes in the bottom and then bolt this to it. That'd be a very secure connection. So obviously I haven't done any testing on this as far as how much energy it can take in and out. I can push I can certainly push the amount of power into this that the Insight can. And I could probably figure out a way to pull it out as well. But I'm not going to do that on this video. Probably stop filming here in just a minute and go to bed. This is some kind of gaffer's tape. This tab is really nice. The covers on this are done very well. I haven't quite figured them out. But yeah, they just have a couple of tabs there. It seems like this whole tray is going to slide to the right, maybe. Maybe I need to take these off first. Yeah, there's probably an easier way to do that. This is something. This is certainly telling me with this arrow, like, do something here. Let's do something there. I need to grab my trusty NI screwdriver here. Figure out how to open this. I probably need to take this tape off. That would hold it in place. Okay. There we go. There's 1, 2. There's a connector. I think we're gonna just make sure we're in frame. Yeah. Okay. Cool. And just start prying, and we'll figure out how this goes after the fact. It really seems like it slides somehow. There's a tab. I'm sure at least one person has already done this on YouTube. If not, he will have shortly. Okay, there's one tab. There's a tab. There's lots of tabs. Well, I'll get in there and figure it out. There's almost certainly not bolts under here. I think even in the posting it was saying there's not bolts under here, but this seems like it's a very well built cell. It's certainly, the volumetric density here is very, very high. There's not a lot of empty air, not a lot of enclosure. Of course, we would need to add some kind of protection or spacing at least to make sure that in a crash, these don't get crushed and catch on fire, but you can see that it's a much larger cell. I might shoot a follow-up video to this tonight. I probably won't. Thanks for watching, as always.